You'll probably be a golfer that laterally moves off the ball. The swing might look something like this. Or it might be a swing where you move laterally and then move in. You might be stiff in your middle section here. Stiffen the hips, stiffen the lower back. So you can see that swaying feels easy. Swaying feels easy. Hi everyone, Murdoch here, hope you're well. Now in this video I want to talk about how you all can clear your left hip better, if you're a right-handed golfer, your lead hip better in the downswing. A lot of you may not even be able to feel the possibility of being able to do this. And I want to show you why that is caused by something else. You can't just simply start your downswing thinking of turning the left hip if there are a couple of errors that have happened in your address leading into a poor backswing. Let me explain. A lot of golfers still just stand to the ball symmetrical, vertical spine, even with their feet, even with their legs, shoulders level. Just walk up and do this. So when you're addressing the ball in a symmetrical, quote unquote, way, that's with a vertical spine, legs both look similar. So if you flipped yourself, lefty, righty, you'd look the same pretty much, only a slight difference. That's what I mean by symmetrical. So when you're standing in that position, your right hip is too much over your right foot. Shoulders too level. Quite often you'll be open with your shoulders when you look down the line. Quite often you'll be too bent with bottom tucked in when you look down the line too. So you've got to remember, if you're setting up like that, you'll probably be a golfer that laterally moves off the ball. The swing might look something like this. Or it might be a swing where you move laterally and then move in. That's more common. The lateral move here means that the hips will not turn. They have to move laterally before turning. But you're too eager to hit it. You might be loss of flexibility. You might be stiff. You might be stiff in your middle section here. Stiffen the hips, stiffen the lower back. So you can see that swaying feels easy. Swaying feels easy. A swaying can lead to a bending left arm and an overswing. It can lead to the right foot with the weight moving to the edge of. All of this is a position that will lead to a overactive upper body, an over-the-top move. So when you're warming up, you have to set up a little better. Now, with the club across your shoulders, held by your hands like this, you can see, with nothing interfering, looking down here, that you can set your legs better. You can set your legs better to where you're not in this position. All right, feel the tightness in the hamstrings. You have to push your bottom back. Feel now from the front on view that the weight is now more on the balls of your feet, not the heels. Now, the big thing to do once you're in this position here with your lower half is imagine your hips are on rails. This is very, very important, I believe. A little slide, barely anything, right here to move the weight favoring the inside of that right instep now. The credit card analogy. Imagine that you can take a payment under the right edge of your shoe. That positions from maybe that little move here, making that little move, that positions the spine on a slight tilt behind where the ball would be, allowing for the right hand to be lower than the left. You see? Positions the right knee and right hip just inside the instep. Now, when you perform my simple turn drill, notice how the right hip wants to turn, but also notice how your spine is tilted away from the target, allowing you to turn behind the ball, where the ball would be with a 3-wood driver. You're turning now. Pressure's building on right knee and instep. Now, in this position, it's very, very difficult not to initiate the downswing with a turning left hip, as long as you stay behind what I call my wall, here, which is part of the plumb bob drill. Again, shows you the discomforts of making a good swing. That's why the pros are so good. They've embraced these discomforts. They've run with these discomforts. They know it leads to great ball striking and therefore great shot shapes and results. So we can't shy away from that. We can't shy away from that. Warming up on the first tee like this. We can't shy away from that. Warming up on the first tee like this. You can maybe initially if you're that stiff, but you must do some warming up exercises within the golfing angles and posture. So club across your back, pull your shoulder blades back. That's a variation of across your chest. Set your spine angle now slightly tilted away from the target, right? Now you can see as you turn, I can get behind. It's starting to look like a golfer. It's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable for me this morning. Early in the morning, demonstrating for you guys, I can feel your pain exactly. Now here, stay behind the wall. Feel like your left leg is diagonal away from the target. This position. But if you can simply think of staying behind, so you've turned, stay behind now, there's a wall here. Can you see how the shoulders will not move in? They will not move in. The angle you created with your spine is turning this way. So you have to set up correctly, which will lead to a great backswing, and initiating the downswing is very likely with turning the left hip because you've also loaded on the inside of that right foot. We've made our little adjustment here, pushed our knee, hip, inside the instep, spine tilt back. Boom, there we are. I've turned my hip. A turn leads to a turn. So here we are. There. Hold that. That's my plumb bob position, guys. If you're new to my channel, I got videos on that. I build the swing around the turn drill and plumb bob drill. Keep it as simple as possible. There's a lovely backswing one in the turn drill, and there's a nice through swing one in the plumb bob. That's what you warm up on the first tee with, after maybe the initial looseners. But you have to do some good ones. Now, you can see now, as you start to feel that, you feel that drill, you're now aiming. Oh, there's another thing as well, guys. It won't do you any harm at all gripping down the handle an inch with your 3-wooden driver. It wouldn't do you any harm at all narrowing your stance to shoulder width if you're wider than shoulder width. That helps rotation as well. I can't see you, remember. You're my YouTube viewers. I can only give you ideas of what it should feel like. Checkpoints in the address, drills that will work for all of you. But just check. Based on height, based on range of motion, change your stance, grip down the handle. Won't do any harm. I can now feel from making my little adjustment, balance is better. Here we are. I'm now setting up. I can feel the spine tilt. So I'm going to turn behind. Now when I think of staying behind the wall, here we go. Now you don't care. You try and mark that feeling and go for a center hit. First of the day, I'd be happy with that. Down the left side of the fairway or down the left side of my aim point. So keep it simple. Golf now is all about understanding your angles and limitations, working with that daily, warming up extremely well, and setting up 10 out of 10 if you can, no worse than 9.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up if you did. Please like and share. Comment down below if there's any questions I can make a video on. I'll be delighted to. Thanks for your support. See you soon.